And dealing with people who are also self-absorbed. There are people who bring you down through the impassionate, distance they maintain from other people. You can usually tell these type of people that you're hanging around. You know, you can kind of have a sensor of who you hanging around, that if they're self-absorbed or not, because you start to feel completely alone even when you're with those people. This happens because, as far as they're concerned, there's no point in having a real connection between them and anyone else, and you are merely a tool used to build their self-esteem. So you're not their real friend. You're not their real mate. They tolerate you enough to use you as a pedestal to boost themselves up on. That's the only reason that you're around. And if you feel like you have to succumb to that, or they try to, hold something over your head for any reason, then you are in a very toxic situation or relationship or whatever it is. You need to get the fuck out and dip, because everybody, like I said, people are just agents of destruction, and they seek to destroy everything that's in their path. They're like motherfucking tanks, and they ain't gonna shoot you, or they gonna just crush you, run over your little goddamn spirit, and whatever pride that you have, they won't respect you. You know what I'm saying? For those, they just don't respect you. They use you. They suck the life out of you, the soul out of you, everything that makes you who you are. They suck that out of you. Not only do they have their own pride and their own, the things that they're made of is not enough. They want somebody else's. They want that validation. They take that validation. Sometimes people give out that validation because they are not strong enough to tell that person, no, fuck that. You got me fucked up. I don't know who the fuck you think I am. You know what I'm saying? Instead, they tuck their tail because of some money or some type of fame or something that the other person holds against them that they want. And people who are out here, that they know that and will take advantage of that, whether you know it or not. Also, look out for people who are envious. To envious people, man, the grass is always green on the other side. Even when something great happens to people who are envious, they don't derive any satisfaction from it. You know what I'm saying? Because they measure their fortune against the world's, when they should be deriving their satisfaction from within. And let's face it, there's always someone out there who's going to do better, be better, look better, feel better. You know what I'm saying? If you look hard enough, and spending too much time around envious people is dangerous, because they teach you to trivialize your own accomplishments. You're not competing with anybody but yourself. I have friends that are doing better than me, friends who are doing worse than me. I don't care. I don't judge them. I don't look at them a certain type of way. At the same time, I hope I could be a motivation, and that I'm motivated by people that are doing better, instead of hating on that person and trying to, scam and snake that person. I ask for, hey man, how you do this? How you know what I'm saying? I just ask for tips and tricks, because at the end of the day, if you're not here to better yourself, then you're really useless on this fucking earth. You're useless. And the point of you motherfucking being here at this point, you just need to, die. If you ain't gonna be here trying to improve yourself or improve the people around you, people that you say care so much to you, you should try your best to try to, help if need be, or just if you see them they're doing better. Hey man, how'd you whoop the whoop the whoop whoop? You know what I'm saying? You know, learn something. You know, and if you know something, teach something. That's the least you can do. That person don't follow, that's on them, but at least you can teach them. If you care, you know. If you don't, you don't have to. That's just how the game go. You know what I'm saying? And then you have people who are very manipulative. You know, they just are a fucking vacuum of time and energy, and they suck that out of your life under the facade of friendship. They can be tricky to deal with because they treat you just like a friend, and they know what you like and what makes you happy and what you think is funny and what satisfies you and pleasures you. But the difference is that they use this information as a part of a hidden agenda. And manipulators always want something from you. And if you look back on your relationships with them, it's all take, with little or no giving. And they will do anything to win you over just so they can work you over. They'll do anything to win you over just so they can work you over. Anything. You see this a lot in relationships, especially in marriages. Sometimes people feel like they should be compensated for the time that they spent with you because they just have to put up with so much shit that they just deserve something. They feel like they are worthy of even more of a sacrifice than you already gave them. And little do you know, at the time, you don't realize that you are trying to, you find yourself throughout the years being manipulated into arguing with somebody who didn't deserve your sacrifice in the first motherfucking place. But you love this person. But when you step back and look at it, what did they do to deserve you? They kind of lucked up with you. Because without you, what would they be doing? There were no signs that this person would be, productive. And then maybe you should have waited a little bit longer and just seen. Maybe. But whatever the case, you in the mix now. Like I said earlier about people making you responsible for their own happiness. When they're not happy, you get the blame. And all the motherfucking slander that goes with it. The slander, the calls to the friends, family members that they ain't fucking talked to years and years that they used to talk so bad about. Now, these motherfuckers are their closest people. But in the end, the people will realize that the grass ain't always green on the other side. It ain't. That shit got seasons. And sometimes that shit may be artificial. You think it's grass over there. It stay green and it's lush, but it's just turf. It's something fake. It's painted. It ain't genuine. You know what I'm saying? But you can't save those people. You have to let them just figure out on their own. And never go back to them. Don't matter whether they're crawling their knees. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Just don't go back to the type of people. You know, if they fucked you over once, if they put everything on the line, if you've been in a relationship with a person for longer than 2 or 3 years, at some point you probably put close, you know what I'm saying, you've lowered your guard a tad bit at, minimum. And people will use that against you, man. They just will. And people that do that, they are master manipulators. They can't fucking help it. They're agents of destruction. That shit is evil. You know what I'm saying? That shit is just pure evil. Pure fucking evil. You know? And then you have people that are, you know what I'm saying, dementors. You know what I'm saying? If you ever read a Harry Potter book, you will know that the Dementors are evil creatures that suck people's souls out of their bodies, leaving them merely as shells of humans. But whenever a Dementor enters the room, it goes dark, people get cold, and they begin to recall their worst memories. J.K. Rowling said that she developed the concept for Dementors based on highly negative people. The kind of people who have the ability to walk into a room and instantly suck the air and the fucking life out of it. They suck the life out of the room by imposing their negativity and pessimism upon everyone they encounter. Their viewpoints are always glass half empty, and they can inject fear and concern into even the most benign situations. Then you have people who are twisted. You know, toxic people who have bad intentions from the jump, deriving deep satisfaction from the pain and misery of others, and they are either out to hurt you, to make you feel bad, or out to get something from you. Otherwise, they have no interest in you. The only good thing about this type of person is that you can spot their intentions very quickly, and it makes it that much faster to get them out of your life. But you have to be awakened. You have to be on your shit. You have to know. A lot of these things you don't know until you go through them. And a lot of people haven't went through these type of things. And when they do go through these type of things, when they do encounter themselves on when they do encounter these types of people, they either go 2 ways. They either go the way of, this is how I can get over on people and get what I want, or they either go the way of, this is the type of person that I want around me. But it's a fork in the road, and people go their separate ways. The people that choose to go and just be a manipulative, sick son of a bitch and do that shit, sick ass motherfuckers that choose to just be out here destroying shit on purpose, you know what I'm saying? Just time after time after time. You know, it has to be a sick person to let time accumulate, and then they hit you with something like, well, for all these times, you know, you know what I'm saying? For all these times, this is why I don't fuck with you. Oh, so the rest of that shit that she was doing, you just was pretending. You was an imposter. You wasn't keeping it real with me. And it hurts when you don't share time with somebody, you know what I'm saying? And you may have seen a little bit of human emotion, but for the most part, the motherfuckers wasn't down with you from the beginning. They tolerated you until they couldn't tolerate you no more. They tolerated you until they got what they could out of you. Now they're trying to, you know, they just try to make your life a living fucking hell. You know, they are making themselves the victim. Instead of fixing problems in their own lives, they rather make your life a living hell. They'll push you to, you should go do this. You should go get help. You should go get help. You should do this. You should do that. You should do this. You should do that. Like nothing is wrong with them. And when you try to mention the same thing to them, they get offended. And if they get offended, then it's time to fucking bounce. At that point, you know that you're dealing with a person who is sick in the motherfucking brain, and you need to get away from them as fast as possible before the worst happens. And sometimes it may be too late. Then again, it's never too late to unattach yourself from somebody who is piss poor morally. They'll tell everybody else what their problem is. They'll be the advisor. Them motherfuckers want to be spiritual advisors and people, give out advice and all this shit. And meanwhile, they are sick in the motherfucking head. Everything they spew out their motherfucking sick mind that they have is negative in some type of way. They want something out of it. I mean, I was taught when you do certain things, you don't do it because you want something back. You do it because you love that person. And if you receive something back, cool. But if you don't, it ain't nothing. Nothing to get, you know what I'm saying? It's whatever. It's life. It's the universe. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? You don't do shit to get nothing out of it. Like, what the fuck? If I do something nice for people, I don't want anything out of it. Because the satisfaction was in doing something nice for somebody that I fuck with. That's the satisfaction. That's more satisfaction that I can help somebody out. The satisfaction that I'm in a spot where I can help somebody out. Now, I can't just do the most. I can't just be just total, you know what I'm saying, philanthropist out in this bitch. But, it always could be worse. And I think it's a part of us that God wants us to realize that we also have a responsibility while we're on this earth to make sure that people that we encounter, that we kind of discern that can use a hand up or a little, you know what I'm saying, pitch you a little something here and there, to go ahead and do it if you have the will to. We can't take none of this shit with us. We can leave it to our families or, whatever, which is something that you have to do, but for the most part, you can't take none of this shit with you. A lot of times, you're going to waste it. So, a lot of times, you're blessed with blessing others. That's what I learned through my mother, through my father, through my brother, A lot of times, you ain't blessed because you just made this, you're blessed to give back because however you got to where you are, you have accumulated enough wealth to push some of it back into the universe and have it start circulating. And then you know what I'm saying, you're creating a cycle of, just creating a cycle of goodwill for yourself and for others. And hopefully that person does the same for the next person and so on and so forth. But these people who are twisted, get them out of your life quick. Get the fuck out. Now, people who are judgmental are also quick to tell you exactly what is and what isn't cool. They have a way of taking the thing that you're most passionate about and making you feel terrible about it. Instead of appreciating and learning from people who are different from them, judgmental people look down on others, and they also stifle your desires to be a passionate, expressive person. And to be honest, you're best off cutting them out and being yourself. I'll never conform again. We all at one point of our lives, especially when we're young, we conform. We try to be who the person that we love wants us to be. You know what I'm saying? If we Steve Urkel and the bitch wants to be Stefan, then we're gonna build a goddamn time machine. You know what I'm saying? But at a certain point where you learn that this ain't what it is, it's like, look, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna accept that person for who they are. If you like driving an hour around the city every goddamn night before you go to sleep, that's just who you are. You like to clear your mind. Instead of that person asking you, actually having the audacity to ask you why, you like doing whatever the fuck you doing. You can go fishing at night. You can, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck that you choose to do with your time that makes you feel better about yourself. Instead of the person asking you why and questioning you, maybe they should find out how to provide that same service in the comfort of your home or the comfort of being around that person instead of trying to ask you all these questions. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to find out. They want you to do the work, and then inevitably they're going to be displeased with your answer and still be mad at you. So it's like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And then we got people who judge you. They judge how you living and what you driving and how you look and all this shit. Your kids, they just take aspects of your life and they just make judgments off of it. Get the fuck away from them people. Expeditiously. And then another trait of, you know what I'm saying, toxic people is the arrogance. And an arrogant person is a waste of your time because they see everything as you do as a personal challenge. Arrogance is false confidence, and it always masks major insecurities. Even in studies, this particular one I wrote in my notes. There was a study at the University of Akron found that arrogance is correlated with a slew of problems in the workplace. Right? And people tend to be lower performers, more disagreeable, and have more cognitive problems than the average person. They're delusional. They're delusional. That everything you do, they take offense to it. No matter how good you are, or how good you do your job, you know what I'm saying? Don't matter how good of a wife you are, how good of a husband that you are, good of a boyfriend, good of a girlfriend. Don't matter. Everything you do is a competition, and they take offense to it when you do something great. And if you identify that, get the fuck out of the way of those people. Now, protecting yourself once you spot them, you know, is difficult sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But once you spot them, you have to do the work. You know, they drive you crazy because their behavior is so irrational. Make no doubt about it, no mistake about it. Their behavior truly goes against reason. So why do you allow yourself to respond to them emotionally and continue to get sucked into the motherfucking mix? The more irrational and off base someone is, the easier it should be for you to remove yourself from their traps. You know? So quit trying quit trying to beat them at their own game. Distance yourself from them emotionally and approach your interactions with these people like they're a science project or just like they're a case study. Once you identify it, that don't mean you got to put it on blast. Watch these people. Flip the goddamn script on them. Once you acknowledge it, you ain't got to be loud about it. All you got to see, like, okay, now I know what I'm going up against. Now I can counter-react it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to respond to the chaos Just the facts. You know what I'm saying? And just be, actual factual. Keep it real. Don't indulge in all that bullshit, arguing and tricks and traps to get you to feel sorry for yourself. They want to keep you down and keep themselves up. Sick son of bitches. Maintaining the emotional distance requires awareness. You can't stop someone from pushing your buttons if you don't recognize when it's happening. Sometimes you'll find yourself in situations where you need to regroup or choose the best way forward. But this is alright. You shouldn't be afraid to buy yourself some motherfucking time and make a decision. Coaches don't go into the games without no game plans. Whether it's good or bad, they make one. They know the best players on that team, and they have the game plan around them. They know the best players on their team, and they have the game plan for them. But nonetheless, you have a game plan. That game plan becomes a scout sheet, scouting report. You read the scouting report to know, okay, this person does this shit, this, that shit, tendencies. How can I counteract that? How can I counteract this? That's what the same thing is for this motherfucking life is. Create a game plan for yourself, for these people. So you can keep from being around these type of people that keep sucking your energy out. We're on borrowed time. Whether you noticed or not, this shit can all flip in the goddamn drop of a fucking hat. If anything you learn from 2020, from the start to the finish, you can learn that this shit can get real quick. That goes the same with people. You're not far away from a mental breakdown as you think you are. All it takes for the right situations and occurrences, and then you be right there in the motherfucking rut, spinning your tires in the motherfucking mud, trying to figure out how to get out. And if you don't have nobody to tow you out that situation, then you're gonna be kind of stuck. Still spinning your wheels, going deeper and deeper and deeper, instead of stopping, creating a game plan, and making a move once you make your plans. Most people feel as though because they work or live with someone that they have no way to control the chaos. And this couldn't be further from the truth. Once you've identified a toxic person, you'll begin to find their behavior more predictable and easier to understand. This will equip you to think rationally about when and where you have to put up with them, and when and where you don't. You can also establish boundaries, but you'll have to do something so consciously and proactively. If you let things happen naturally, you're bound to find yourself constantly embroiled in difficult conversations. And the worst thing you can do is get into a difficult conversation with sick people. If you set some boundaries and you decide when and where you engage a difficult, with a toxic person, then you can control much of the chaos. The only trick is to stick to your guns and keep boundaries in place when the person tries to cross them. And they will. And if they cross them way too much, that is a sign for you not being around that person anymore. I mean, that they don't respect you. Even if you put boundaries up, they don't respect you and what the fuck you got going. They don't respect your mind. So at that point, you have to choose whether to keep fucking with that person or just let them go. Or if they get arrogant and they let you go, they don't want to figure it out, they don't want to get no help with it, don't put no extra effort in that shit. Put all that effort into you. All of it. Be selfish. It's okay to be selfish sometimes when it's not hurting nobody else. Be selfish. Take care of yourself. Ain't nobody else gonna do that. And the people who are looking for people to take care of them, they're fucking sick. You have the abilities like everybody else. All phases of life. If you ain't figured it out yet, goddamn it, keep trying. But don't give in. Let somebody take care of you like you're a child. If you're an adult, you have the obligation to take care of yourself. You know? So, don't be afraid to take care of yourself. Don't be afraid to tell, you know what I'm saying, your significant other, hey, can I get some, you know what I'm saying? Not even can I get some time. It's going to be like, shit, hey, I'm doing this time for myself to get my shit right. If they love you, they should understand you. If they don't, that's a red flag to me. I've seen a lot of those red flags, and I ignored them. And I think we all do, especially when we're young. You know what I'm saying? We ain't taught the, you know what I'm saying, the kind of weather this shit out. We don't know about shit that gets this deep. A lot of this shit you can't tell nobody about. A lot of this shit that you can't go to nobody because every situation is specific to that person and the other person that they're dealing with. This can be a relationship or, you know, at work or whatever the fuck. Just in life in general with people. You know? Get your mind right. Sometimes you gotta step back and go in monk mode. Go in quiet mode. Go in, you know what I'm saying? You ain't hiding. You plotting. You know what I'm saying? You plotting. You're creating a scheme, a game plan to attack life in a new manner, in a new way. The way you want to do it without nobody asking you or trying or pressuring you to conform. You live it the way you want to live it, and you stay away from these toxic motherfuckers. And this is the Trill Pill Podcast. Much love to you. God bless your loved ones. God bless the people who aren't here to share these times with us. And stay away from them, man. Don't get poisoned out here. It's easy to get poisoned. It's all around us. Everywhere you look. Everywhere you look. And trust me, my nigga, you ain't got to look far. It ain't got nothing to do with being, you know, a nigga or a cracker or, you know what I'm saying, whatever the fuck. Don't matter who you are, what your color your skin is or whatever. Manipulators are out here. Agents of destruction are out here. And they create division. They create division. Because unity is the solution. And they know that. They've seen pieces of that. And it scares them that people will, you know, one by one heal themselves and start to point out this bullshit and start living truth. And stop living in the motherfucking fantasy and start walking the truth and living the truth. Don't feel like they have to do all these like extra ass manipulative things to attract anybody. Cause you don't. Excuse me. I eliminate half the people that say they want to be cool with me. Because I operate different. I'm not around a lot of people. I don't hang out a lot with a lot of people. Simply because I don't want to. That's just not how I roll. I don't have anything against people or nothing. I just like to be alone sometimes. Stay at the crib, chill out, do my own shit. I don't feel like being around a lot of people. You know, only certain people I feel like being around all the time. And it's only about 2 or 3 people that I can, you know what I'm saying, that I know personally that ain't with the bullshit. And they operate just like me. Matter of fact, I've learned how to operate from watching them. and how people treated them and how they learned from it. That's how I learned from it, and that's what they taught me and how to be. Because people are vicious out here. They don't give a damn about what the fuck you got going on. They just act like it. They tolerate it enough as long as you in their face. But when you turn your back on you, right? Need I say more? Trill Pill Podcast. Thanks for listening. Stay trill and stay healed.